some fights. Let's do some breakdowns. Let me give you my thoughts on the main topic today, which is Usyk against Verhoeven. And let's start off with the fight that I kind of like all the fights on this card, except for the main event. But in the welterweight division, you're going to see Jack Catterall take on Shakram Gaziev in a welterweight scrap. Gazayazov is 17-0 with 10 knockouts. He's 5'9.5", which is going to be about 2.5 inches taller than his opponent. He's not rated by the computer because he hasn't fought in a year. And the WBA has him at number 1. Ring Magazine has him at number 7. ESPN Magazine has him at number 6. And he's not rated at all by the WBC, WBO, and IBF. He's a quality fighter. His best wins, he won a 10-round decision over Christian Gomez in May of 2022. He also won a 12-round decision over Harold Calderon in June of 2023. He had a technical decision over a fighter I used to love to watch, to be honest with you, Pablo Cesar Cano, in February of 2024. And his last fight, or a fight that he had in July 2024, a 10-round split decision over Miguel Ramirez, in my opinion, was his best fights. 17 fights as a pro, which is going to be half as many as his opponent has, with a 59% KO ratio. He's a little more powerful than his opponent. His opponent, Jack Catterall, a guy I absolutely love. I love watching this guy fight. 32 wins, 14 coming by knockout, and he's got 2 losses. He's got 34 professional fights as a pro, which is twice as many as his opponent. And the rounds, it's kind of funny because Gaziev has 95 rounds as a pro. Jack Catterall has 248. 153 more rounds as a pro. He's a guy that's a southpaw. The computer has him at number 6. The WBO has him at number 1. The WBA has him ranked at number 6. He's not rated in the WBC, the IBF, or ESPN, but the Ring Magazine has him at number 10, and the IBO's computer has him at number 4. Which is one I like. I love the IBO computer rankings. At 5'7", he's 2.5 inches shorter than his opponent. In my opinion, he's fought a little tougher opposition. He's got a 12-round decision over Jorge Linares in October of 2023. He had a 12-round decision over Josh Taylor in May of 2024. He beat Regis Prograis in 2024 as well. And in 2025, in his last fight, he got an 11th round stoppage over Esko Usyman back in November. He's an interesting fighter. Now, who's going to win? Well, Gaziev is even though he actually has only 10% more knockout ratio, I think overall Jack Catterall has fought the better opposition. I'm picking Catterall in this fight. I think he's going to outbox him and do what he does generally, where he comes on really heavily and towards the ends of the fight. And I think he's going to do just fine. Now, the next fight I wanted to talk about is the super middleweight contest between Aleem Bijic and Hamaz Shiraz. And in this fight, it's an interesting fight because when I looked at Bijic, I was like, 39 years old. He's 13 years older than Shiraz. He is giving up 4 inches. He's 5'11 and a half. And as Dax mentioned, Shiraz is a tall guy. He's got some more fights under his belt, 29 wins, no losses, 23 coming by knockout. He does have a draw, and that was back in 2019 against Tehran Mets. The computer doesn't have him ranked. Neither does the IBO computer, because he's been out for over a year. His last fight was in April of 2025. But the WBO has him ranked at number 4, and he's not ranked anywhere else. He's a German fighter, and his best wins, a 10-round decision over David Kirkman in September of 2024, and he had a second-round stoppage over Mahidi Safardari back in April of 2025, which was his last fight. He's much older than his opponent. Shiraz is, like I said, 13 years younger in this one at 26. He's 22-0 with a draw, 18 of his wins coming by knockout. The draw was in February 2025 against Carlos Adames. And like I mentioned earlier, to me, it was a total gift for Shiraz. There was no way that fight, he didn't come close to winning, let alone be a draw. But since, he's fought some pretty tough opposition, to be honest with you. He's got first round stoppage over Leon Williams in 2024. He's got an 11th round stoppage over Austin Williams in June of 2024. And he's got a 5th round stoppage over Edgar Berlanga back in July of 2025. The computer ranks him at number 2. The WBO has him at number 2. The WBA has him at number 6. The IBF and WBC do not have him rated at all. Ring Magazine has him ranked at number 10. ESPN has him at number 2. And the IBO computer has him at number 3. He's a tall fighter, 6'3". He's getting better and better. And I think this is going to be an easy fight for Shiraz over Bijic. So I'm picking Shiraz over Bijic. In what I think is going to be the fight of the night in the heavyweight division, and it's so important. First of all, it's a true 50-50 fight, in my opinion. First of all, it's going to be a substantial fight for the heavyweight division. What I like about this fight is it's 2 young fighters actually fighting each other. This sounds very Zuffa-esque to me, but I love the fight, and I'm talking about in the heavyweight division, Frank Sanchez going up against Richard Torres Jr. Torres Jr.'s got a record of 14-0 with 12 of his wins coming by knockout. He's a southpaw. He's 6'2". He's given up 2 inches with a 76-inch reach as well. He's got a 86% knockout ratio, which happens to be 15% more than his opponent, Frank Sanchez. The computer ranks him at number 14. The IBF has him at number 4. The WBC and the WBO have him ranked at number 9, and the WBA has him at number 15. The Ring has him at number 8. ESPN has him at number 10, and the IBO computer has him at number 13. He's a legitimate fighter by all stretches of the imagination. When all sanctioning bodies have to agree that he's a ranked fighter, you got to give him credit. His best wins, he's had a 5th round stoppage over Brandon Moore back in May of 2024. He had a 3rd round stoppage over Isaac Gutierrez in December of 2024. And I think his best win of his career was a 10-round decision over Guido Vianello. And Vianello, that fight took place in April 2025. And Vianello's a good fighter. So Richard Torres showed me something in that one. He steps in the ring with Frank Sanchez, who is a highly regarded Cuban fighter. His record is 25 wins, 18 coming by knockout. And his one loss was against Ajit KBL. And Ajit KBL stopped him in the 7th round in May of 2024. If you recall, he went into this fight injured. He had a knee brace on and couldn't move around the ring and just couldn't get out of the way of KBL's pop. in that fight. But nonetheless, he's 6'4", 78-inch reach. Like I said, it's a little over 2 inches in both for advantage over Torres Jr. He's the computer and the IBO don't have him ranked due to his inactivity. His last fight was in February of 2025. The IBO, however, has him at number 3, and the WBC has him at number 12. He's also not ranked by the WBO, the WBA, the Ring, or ESPN magazine. ESPN rankings. I don't know why I said magazine. I'm old. His best wins, in my opinion, there were 3. 7th round stoppage against Junior Fa in December of 2023. Fa was an up-and-coming heavyweight along with Sanchez. So, again, Sanchez seemingly fighting the guys that you want to see him climb. He had a 9th round stoppage over Carlos Negron in October of 2022 and a 10-round decision over Effie Ajagba in 2021. You look at those 3 wins, and they were all against fighters that were also relevant at the same time. So I give Frank Sanchez a lot of credit. Who's going to win the fight? This is a real tough one for me. Sanchez looked like a different fighter to me with the knee issue when he fought in his last fight. His previous fight in against KBL, and then he destroyed a guy he was supposed to destroy in 3 rounds in his last fight, which was February of last year. Richard Torres, he's been a little more active. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I'm going to pick Torres. I believe Torres is probably the underdog. Sanchez should win this fight based on experience. But for some reason, there's something about Richard Torres. I think he's going to continue to improve, and I think part of that process we're going to see against Frank Sanchez this weekend. Okay, the fight: Alexander Usyk going up against Rico Verhoeven, and Verhoeven. You heard Dax and I talk about that. Look. I don't like the fight at all. I'm not taking anything away from Usyk. I don't like the fight. If it was a fight and none of the titles, again, this isn't Usyk's fault, like Dax pointed out. Maybe I'd be a little more receptive to it, but I don't think this is going to be a close fight. I mean, Verhoeven, okay, he's got a great martial arts career. He's 37 years old, which is 2 years younger than Usyk. He does have a height and reach advantage. He's only got a 2-inch height advantage and only a half-inch reach advantage, which is going to be no advantage at all for Usyk because Usyk is used to fighting guys way bigger than him. So, there's nothing that the size, there's no size advantage. And I don't care about the weight either. He's had 1 pro boxing fight in his career. So he's officially 1-0. And this was a 2nd-round knockout over the extremely tough, his name was Jans Finfara, and he was 0-5 at the time. So, and that took place 12 years ago in April of 2014. That's all I can tell you about him. I know he's a great martial arts guy, but he's going to be stepping in the ring with one of the most technically sound fighters in the world today. Alexander Usyk, 24-0, 15 knockouts. Look, as a heavyweight world champ, because that's the division we're going to talk about. We all know he was successful in the cruiserweight division, but as a heavyweight, 6 fights define his heavyweight career, and they were split between 3 fighters. He beat Anthony Joshua twice, he beat Tyson Fury twice, and he beat Daniel Dubois twice. And they were the top fighters at the time. So, I mean, there's nobody else that can criticize him. I criticize the fact that they're billing the fight as a title fight. You want to drum up and make boxing a little more popular in Egypt, not known for boxing. Fine, have the fight. and have it even be a pro fight that counts, but no titles on the line. Maybe put the Pyramids title on the line, just, for shits and giggles. But, if that were the case, I'd have no problem with it. But, I disagree with Dax in a way about the simple fact that, if you want to be great, you got to do great things. He's done great things. There's no question. Nobody can argue that he hasn't done great things. Then walk away. The last thing he did was a great thing when he won a rematch, his last fight. So walk away. Nobody would criticize him. He would still be right where he was. But now you take this fight, and in my opinion, it forces him to take another fight after this, because the truth of the matter is that you can't. I would hate to see him leave the ring, and retire with that being his last fight. But anyway, listen, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and hopefully you'll tune in. Don't forget to subscribe or follow and do all those things, all the socials. If you go to BillyCBoxing.com, all the links are there. I appreciate it. Just remember, tune in next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, I'll leave you with this. Ciao.